Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations 2017. I'm Athena Turk, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2017. Welcome to my YouTube channel or live in Athena's Creations on Facebook. This week I'm featuring the paper pumpkin for October, and here it is already the first week in November. But as soon as I got this kit, the October kit every year is amazing. It's always the fun Christmas card kit, and there's 3 amazing Christmas cards. Admittedly, when I first got it, I was wondering, how am I going to, do something alternative with it? Because I wasn't real excited about it. I was excited, but I wasn't excited about the designs. So I have 2 alternatives. In addition to doing each one exactly as is, I've got 2 fun fold alternative cards, and the rest are 3D fun items. So giftables, different things, some other ideas that I'm going to give you and share all of the measurements like I always do, because sharing is caring, right? Especially in the crafting community. And this one it's a great kit. Every year the October one is fantastic. And of course we've got these amazing add-on dies that we can get that will be good for this month, November and December. So lots of great, in fact, we're going to be using some of this tonight along with the all season velvet paper. And then something that just went live, I think Tuesday this week, and that's the, I have to always look to make sure I get the right name, the Silent Snowfall. And so this is that snow textured paper that you can use on all kinds of projects. So we're using both of those tonight for some of the 3D projects. But the exciting thing about this is there's velvet. And velvet is just a really nice touch to a Christmas card. So without further ado and chitter chattering, let's get right into it, because I've got so many amazing fun things to share. This one's really exciting. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Oops, let me bring this down. I'm excited. Here's some of the alternatives right away. And let's see, make sure I got plenty of light going on over here. All right, so I got the little Debbie cake tree brownie or whatever you call it for one of the ideas. And then of course, like these little cherry cordials is a really good size. I personally don't eat these, but I know friends and family and everybody else likes to enjoy those. So I got it out because this is one of the alternative 3Ds that we're making, and I'm going to share all of the dimensions with you. So this is more like my style. It's a mint that's sugar-free. Anything that's sugar-free, love it. But you can see that it's big enough. It's like a little pizza box, right? A mini pizza box. You can put that. You can put an oatmeal cream pie, the little tree. I think the other Christmas tree might be too big for this one. So like if this were cherry cobbler and then you put that in, then you could see, oh, that green and cherry cobbler, it's kind of melting because, here in the South, well, yeah. And then of course we've got a another cute little box, just bringing in some cardstock. Oops, that's not supposed to come off. I'm gonna have to fix that. I modified that the last minute. But this is using the kit contents and then just cutting it in half. And that's like velvet on there, that green. It's really cool. So as you can see, you can fit a chapstick in there, a breath saver, some candies, some little things like that can fit in here. Another thing that I wanted to show you, here's my little template. You can fit 2, possibly 3 of these little mini candies. You can fill it with all kinds of fun little things like that. And that's one of the things I'm going to share with you as well. And move this one out of the way. And then these fun little ideas. Now this one was a work in progress for a couple of weeks. And I think, although I tied it off as a bow, I saw online somewhere, it was one of those real fast videos. So I had no idea what the measurements were. And so I just finally figured it out. And I'm going to share that with you. And so this one we're going to make And then we're also going to make this one. And that's using that add-on dies and that velvet touch paper. I just love that so much. But I think what we can do on this one is we can tie it and make it into like an ornament that you could hang on your tree, where when you undo it on the inside, you can see the fun treats. And we'll do that too, because I've got some treats here on my desk that I can show you where it's all going to go. And I've used almost all of the stuff in the kit. I did bring in these amazing embellishments. I absolutely love these. The traditional sparkling sequins. And the other 3D with that I'm going to share is little, you know, using the kit pieces and the everyday dies, one of my favorites. And I'm going to share all of those, my little template that I keep handy. I've got a couple of those that I'll share with you. And my 2 fun fold alternatives using that really cool paper. Oh, I just realized my phone just bent. I get so caught up. Hold on just a sec. Whoops. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. It's been a hot minute apparently since I've messed with all of this. Oh, hopefully it doesn't move now. I don't know. I'm going to try to keep look-see on there. So I think I want to start with some of the 3D items first, and then we'll do the cards, because we got the 3 and then the 2 alternatives, so that's like 5 cards. And then I had a couple that were like in progress. So like this was kind of an idea I had, but I hadn't really finalized it, and I probably could have spent another week playing, because this is basically the only things left. Now this is just cardstock in a folder that I was going to use, but I mean, as you can see, I've used most everything in the kit with just a couple of pieces left over. And of course, this kit comes with really amazing envelopes, which also gave me an idea for one of my alternative cards and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this one, which is these fun little box things. And then we'll move on to the next one. Pardon me. So this one, there's just one of, and the reason for that is this was a card, I believe it was a full sheet. I was going to make notes and I didn't, but it's like one of these, the card base. And like I said, I was going to make notes on that one and I just totally forgot. But anyway, so don't you just love it when you see a really cool card design or something fun online and it's that super fast and then you realize, oh, I can't figure out the measurements? Well, that's kind of where I was with this project. This kit also came with the Pecan Pie little ink spot. Just want to mention that. And then there's, of course, all the adhesives that you need and the beautiful little sequins. So I'll probably use every single one of those and some of the extras. So this was my original mess up, I guess you could say. You can see I've folded it several different ways and it didn't look anything like what I thought the video was supposed to be. And this is kind of the measurements that I thought I saw, but nope. And I thought, okay, well, if I make it bigger, 6 by 3, it didn't quite do like it was supposed to. So I'm like, okay, let me just think this through. And here it is. It's 6 by 6 scored at 3. And at 1.5 inches is where you start to score. And I'm going to show you that. So this one's not scored, but we're going to score it together. That way you can learn how to do this. And this is the size that it comes to. Okay, it's this one here. Now I'm going to do the same thing using a little bit bigger, using a half a sheet of one of the card bases from this month's kit, just to give you an idea. And then a full card base is this size. You just kind of modify the measurements just a tiny little bit. And my phone keeps moving. Mercy me. Let me see if I can fix that. I've got all these little gadget buttons on here and make sure I got it. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So yes, I'm going to show you how to do that. A quarter sheet. I misspoke. A quarter sheet. So I'm going to show you how to make that one. And then basically it's the same concept, except it's going to be a little bit bigger. Same concept as in, I'm going to show you, 6 by 6 scored at 3 inches. So half of 3 inches is 1.5, okay? So that it can come together like that. And it's going to be a diamond, so it'll be all the way up to the middle from each side of the score line. So let's just get our paper trimmer out and let's just do this. Let me share that with you. And we're also going to do the same thing with this piece. I purposely did that. Normally I have everything all pre-scored and stuff, but I wanted to share how easy it is to do this. So just get a 6 by 3 sheet of beautiful paper, cardstock, whatever you want to use. And we're going to do some scoring. Now for me, I have my cutting blade at the top and my scoring blade is at the bottom. It's really important when you start crafting that you figure out which one makes sense to you. What made sense to me that I used a lot is the cutting blade, which is up at the top. So I just always remember my cutting blade's at the top and my score is at the bottom. I was doing a 3D project, gosh, maybe 2 years ago, and I got it mixed up and I cut instead of scored, and I boo-hoo-hoo. I did not figure out how to fix that boo-hoo. So from then on, it's like, just remember which side. Some people will put, you know, C for cut or S for score. I mean, whatever works for you, whatever makes sense. But that's what makes sense to me. All right, so we've got our 6 by 3, and we're going to score it at 3 inches because that's half, okay? It could be either side. This is beautiful retired paper. I just love that. So we're going to score it right at 3. Now, what we're going to do next is 1 and a 3. I'm going to start to score it. Let me show you what I mean. So 1.5 is exactly the middle. And so I'm just barely going to give it a little nudge. You see there's a tiny little nudge there, so that when I go to score it, it's going to be exactly at the diamond. I hope that makes sense. So again, 1.5. I'm just going to barely give it a little nudge. And so basically from this corner score line to that center, I'm going to score it. I'm going to line up there and line up down here. See how it's scored? And I'm going to do that for all 4 sides. Find the side here and then the middle there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, because it's going to be a point. Then I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm going to line up that middle score and that middle score there. I think it moved. Let me just double check. Hold on. There we go. All right, and then our last little score line, that middle, and then line up this edge here. Okay, we're going to bring that back out in just a minute. And so we just want to make sure that we are going to burnish all the score lines. Okay. And of course, I always try to have a template, because if I try to do this later on, I'm not going to remember what my, and sometimes I write it on a piece of Post-it note, which is fine, but if it falls off or it's put onto the wrong project, then I have the wrong measurements. So for me, the templates are a lifesaver. All right, so then we're going to bring the 2 pieces together like that. Okay. So we'll start, and we're going to bring these 2 sides together, and my hole punch is just a regular sized hole punch. And I do believe it's on my desk up here somewhere, and I'm gonna need a second to, oh, here it is, yep. Sorry for the reach. Well, drats, for some reason, my, let me see if that worked. It keeps wanting to tilt. Okay, so this is just regular office hole punch, right? And it's the two sides. Okay, make sure it's lined up on that crease there. And then you're just going to go a little bit down and hole punch it, right? And then you're going to do the same thing with the opposite side. Make sure that it's lined up. Bring in that hole punch. Just like that. Really, really easy, right? Okay. And I do have Deck the Halls. I have that one, so we're going to do two of these. Now, before I put all of this together, I want to show you what all can be put in here, right? Just how big this is. So, we've got a mini. Will it hold? No, it'll hold just one or a couple of lifesavers. But it can hold a really fun treat, right? Just for show and tell. So basically, it's going to go just like that. I've got this gorgeous ribbon. I think this is, we haven't had a red ribbon in a while. So this is in the mini catalog. I do believe it's currently available. And so you just feed it through one side. And feed it through the rest. Right, just like that. And then you kind of get it where you want, how much ribbon that you want. And I'm just guesstimating. For this one, I want to turn this into a ornament. So instead of tying at the base, although I think I should tie it at the base. I'm pretty sure I did a bow, but I think I want to just do a knot. Okay, and then to make it into an ornament, you would just do a double knot at the top. And perhaps a little bit more ribbon. Okay. And so then now you've got where you can hang it as an ornament. I just wanted to share that. Oops. And here we are tilting again. My goodness. You would think after all these years of doing this, I would have this figured out. Okay. I got to remember to look up. Okay. So we're going to stamp Deck the Halls, which is in Pecan Pie. So cute. And I think I want that side to be the front Pecan Pie. Give it a second, let that ink soak in. There we go. Set that off to the side. And then I'm going to put this one on a dimensional. Or two. And then sometimes I realized what I just did. Sometimes it's easier to put the dimensionals onto the project, but this will be fine. And so for this one, I just went ahead and brought in these beautiful sequins that I'm getting low on Thankfully, I did purchase 2 of these. So when I run out, I'll have another one. Yay! Okay, here we go. Gonna add some real pretty bling there. And a little tiny one down here. Super cute. This would be great little table favors, you know, with a little, you know, after dinner mint or something in there. Super, super cute, super easy to do. Now let's go on to the next one, which is using the kit contents. I just wanted to show you how easy this is to either make it as a table gift, an ornament. I mean, and you can do all kinds of different things with that. Let me move that one aside. And we're gonna make this one, Joy to the World. And that's using a half or a quarter. And here are the measurements, Joy and then to the world. So this is 5.5 by 4 1/4, exactly a quarter of a cardstock. And it looks like it's supposed to go this direction, but either way is fine. And this is part of the kit. So what we're gonna do is on the 5.5 inch side, we're gonna score it 2 3/4. And then on the 4 1/4 inch side, we're going to score it at 2 1/8. So hopefully I don't mess that up, but that's my instructions to myself. So again, let's go ahead and bring in our trimmer. And let's double check the measurements. All right, so this one, 5.5. Yep, that's 5.5. And 4 1/4, exactly a quarter. So basically it's, it was this card that I just cut in half. And I could make a few more of these. So it was just this one cut in half from the kit. All right. I love it when I use almost all of the kit contents. Absolutely love that. Okay, so at 5.5, we're gonna score it at 2 3/4. Because that's half. And then start to score. So the middle for this one is 2 1/8, right? So 2 plus 2 on each side. I'm going to start to score it like I did the smaller one, right? And I'm going to turn it 2 1/8. And I'm going to start to score it on that one. Okay. Same thing. We're going to line up each side, the start of that score line, to have a diagonal diamond. Excuse me. I'm getting all those measurements mixed up. All right. Because when it's all said and done, it's going to be a beautiful gift. And then, of course, the same thing, you would find the half and do the same thing that I did for this, so that you can have the same idea, the bigger the card. Ideally, you probably could do a full cardstock sheet. That would be interesting to see what that would look like. That's a little math too. At least on this one, I figured out the math ahead of time. Okay. Again, where that score line and this score line meets. Now this one, I'm pretty sure you can fit a little bit more in it. And you can see it's like a diamond shape, right? Oh, that would be kind of a fun something there too, huh? Ideas. And again, like before, we're gonna bring those two together. And then we're gonna put a hole on each side. There is a little gaping hole that you'll see a little bit as you get. There isn't on that one, but for some reason there is on this one. And again, we're gonna do the little hole punch. I'm gonna do 1, side and then the next side. And I just guesstimated that. Now this one was on the clearance rack for a while, and I don't know if it still is. It may not be, but ooh, what'd I do with it? It's here. I've got several ribbons on my desk. Well, I have a fun crafty mess here. Hold on just a second. What did I do with it? It was just here. I have two of these open on my desk. I did not realize that. Okay. Oh, here we go. This one, I forget what it's called, but it says really nice thin ribbon. This is really, really good for ornaments or, you know, whatever we want to put in here. Let's see, I think we can do two. Yep, you can do two. Or one little mini. We're going to start on one side, feed it through. It is really easy. I'm just all thumbs all of a sudden. All right. And again, we're going to feed that one through. All right, there we go. And I'm just going to make a double knot. And trim it. Oh, and that's what I forgot to do on the other one. It just dawned on me. It's got those fraying edges. And you just clip it. And it's like brand new. I forgot to show that a minute ago. I don't like the fraying part. But anyway. Okay. So now I'm going to make a cute little bow. Just like that. And then this one we're going to use the mini dimensionals because it's kind of small. There we go. And these are indeed small. Put one there. And one right there. That should be plenty. It keeps tilting. It's kind of frustrating because you know, for weeks it was working great. And I don't know. Okay. All right. To the world, because we've got joy. And then to the world is, oh, over here. And this one is part of the kit. Yep, that's part of the kit piece. Isn't it? Or maybe it's not. I probably used my new punch that is part of the new online exclusives, maybe. Because you can always do that banner for any size paper and make it longer than that. In other words, you can feed it in through one side. There it is, like that. And make it as long as you want. And I can't remember where, I think that was just an extra piece I had. So we're gonna use pecan pie. And to the world. And I think what I ended up doing was just doing a slant. Like so. And then this one we're just going to do flat. Joy to the world. And then our beautiful velvet piece that I die cut ahead of time. Just like that. And then for this one, this is the measurements. Super easy. And this is the template. And then this one, I just brought in some extra, and the stamps for this one, absolutely amazing stamps. Cozy Christmas, Deck the Halls, Joy to the World, Merry Christmas. Star, I think, is the only one I didn't use. And then those little the snowflakes. And then this one, I used the die cut from our Abundant Joy dies for this month, November and December. And then I just used the velvet and die cut those out. This will be fun for a little tag for any of your Christmas stuff. And of course, all the fun little stuff. So that was just for show and tell. But basically the same idea and concept. You find out, like, this is 6 by 3. Half of the 6 by 3 is 3 inches. So you would score the middle. Same concept, the bigger you go on your project. And then you just want to, from whatever the middle is between the two, which is 1.5. The 3 by 3, it's 1.5. So you start to score. Just start to score. That way, when you score the diangles or the triangle, the sides, it meets all the way directly in the middle. Now, that's the thing to remember. It needs to be in the middle. But you can do that for so many different sizes. And that was the purpose of sharing that with y'all. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next 3D item, which is fun. And I love 3D items and fun folds and all the things because you can make fun things like this. And, you know, if you like to do craft fairs, these are great designs just for that. And I do believe that there is a refill kit available. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can order that. Oh, and that's something I want to share too, are the boxes. So when you have a little box, pretty much any size box, you can make something very similar to this using the everyday Arches dies, absolutely my favorite. Oh gosh, I so love those. And then again, different size bottom of the boxes, different lengths for the arches. And for this particular one, and here's my template, you can kind of see how deep it is. It's going to be big enough. And I got a couple of these cute little Bath and Bodies. But this one, it's 3 by 3.5. And on the 3-inch side, you're going to score it at 1 inch and 2 inches. And then you're going to turn it on the 3 3/4 side and score at 1 inch and 2 3/4. Okay, so that's for this one. Now let me show you my other templates. I actually have like 4 different sizes. So I have this little guy, really, really small. And I think the little home house bundle last year, I used for that one. I probably should have got it out to show you, but anyway. And then this one I did a couple of years ago. And here's this template for this one. And for me, when I have a template and I have fun 3D things, this really helps me figure out what I'm going to use. But it's the same concept for the everyday arches. You just basically line them up. You've got all these templates. This will also be big enough to hold. And I think I put on here a small hand sanitizer. It covers up more, as you can see. This same concept. We could use the same one if we wanted, but I just went with the smaller one this time. And all of this is super helpful when I'm trying to come up with some alternatives, which is what I did this time. I used that size there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get started. On this one, I decided to use white. The other ribbon colors I had were the green and the beautiful real red, but this is cherry cobbler. And so what I did was, and they just barely fit the perfect size, right? Just for point of reference, I was able to get 2 of these die cut pieces out of a half a sheet from this kit. And same thing for the red. Just barely was able to get. And of course, when you have a 3D item, you're going to want to decorate both sides. And so that's what I did there. And I'm using this ribbon here. White ribbon, lint. Real pretty ribbon. And we've got our joy for both sides. Already die cut that one out. And then these we're just gonna layer. And then here is our box piece and our fantastic template. So this one I'm gonna just line up as evenly in the middle as possible. And do the next piece. There we go. We're going to go ahead and decorate it. And this one, we're going to use these really small, I call them flat adhesive dots. Let's see, I think most of it's going to fit. Yep. Which are great for these corner pieces. And then this one's going to fit nice in the middle there. Kind of forgot that's what I did last time. There we go. I guess I didn't need that on the side, but I did. I keep that little box in the corner. I put my little tiny pieces of trash there. All right, there's that one. And this one. Just kind of at a little angle there. All right, so here is the bottom piece. And you want to score all the, or burnish all the score lines. Silly me. Let's use our template. And so for this one, we're just going to cut in up to the score line, the middle. And then on these corner tabs, we're just going to do a little notch just like that up to that score line. Tiny little notch. That's what I call it. I don't know if they officially call it that. That's what I call it. Okay. Same thing. You're just going to cut up into the score line. Tiny little notch on the flat piece. Tiny notch there. And a tiny notch there. All right. Templates are a lifesaver. And then, because it's a 3D item, you can use liquid glue or the Stampin' Seal Plus. And it's going to be on, the adhesive will be on the tabs. And I'm going to just do one tab at a time. Whoop. Once it's down, you can't move it, so be careful. When you pinch it, you're all set. There's our cute little box. It's the perfect size, right? All right. So now we're going to adhere this on. This is kind of the part that you just want to be real careful. I know I want to just kind of have a guide, like from one line to the next. Just like that. And it's about 1/4 of an inch on each side, approximately. Just like that. And this is where we're going to squeeze it together. And we're not going to use the hole punch. We're going to actually, oh, I just spilled a bunch of paper. Yikes. The hole punch assortment. So this one's really fun. It's got these 3 different sizes, and this one looks really fun. So we're going to use that one. Okay, sorry, I had to pick that mess up before it became an even bigger issue later. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to pinch these together, and we're going to give it that oh, you know what? I remember last time I couldn't do that. So because we're going to go through 2, it won't go through 4. We're going to just eyeball it. Basically the middle, and then as far in as it will go. Okay. Same thing for this side. That middle, and as far in as it will go. And it's perfectly lined up. Such a cute idea. I think those are still available, hopefully. I know it can be a little tad frustrating when something, you know, sells out, but I do believe they are still available. So we're going to put that cute little ribbon and tie a little bow. And this is 12 inches of ribbon. Just feed that through. And I'm going to tie it, make a cute little bow. Isn't that adorable? Okay. And of course, we want to clip the little frayed edges there. And then we're going to add our beautiful bling. I'm using one of the big ones here. And there goes my screen. I just looked up. Oh my goodness. There's got to be a better way. My goodness. Oh. Sorry about that. Anyway, all right. So we've got some really pretty gold. So let's put this little gold piece right there. Oop, there it is. And we're gonna flip it over. So this is so cute. I love doing things like this for neighbors and the post person that comes. Really fun. And technically you could probably do something like this for, you know, when you go out to eat, hand to a server, something like that. So there's that one. On to the next project. And there's that template. I have the dropsies up here for some reason. I have a fun crafty mess up here. Okay. let's see. Let's do the cards, and then we will do those other two boxes. So we did 2 of the 3Ds. Now we're going to do the 3 cards as pictured and the 2 alternatives that I've made. That will be next. And so here's the Joy card. The original comes in this really fancy envelope. And this is all of the kit contents for this one. They're all pre-scored, really nice. And then this one's just going to be right in the center, really nice and beautiful there. And all of the paper pumpkins and kits come with the flat adhesive. I just, for ease of quickness, I bring in my own. And then we've got these corner pieces. And the nice thing about this on all the kits and our paper pumpkin is there is step-by-step instructions on how to put this together. And I guess we're doing card number 2. And it's showing tear and tape, but I just used quick tape there. Tear and tape and dimensionals on those pieces. Okay. So we're going to stamp to the world and then put those pieces together to make this card here. Okay. We can do that. There's the Joy. And to the world is going to be right down there. Pecan pie. I haven't seen too many alternatives on this kit yet, so I'm always excited to get my ideas out there. Because as soon as I got this kit, I just dove right in, and it's like, what all is in this kit? What can I do to make alternatives? So I always challenge myself. And it's fun to come up with, different ideas. Okay, Joy to the world. And so now we're going to use the flat adhesive dots for these. So we can use a couple of the big pieces for those big, nice slanted parts. You could use glue dots, but I think the flat adhesives are much better. There we go. One more over here. One in the middle. One there. And one there. Okay. I have short nails, so I should use my take your pick tool. Oop, they fell down, that's fine. We had a warm up all of a sudden, and apparently by Monday it's supposed to be really cold again. All right. The J first, and then we're going to do the joy, the oi, the O and the Y. Oh, mercy. A lot of kits I have a hard time doing as is, but this one I don't mind doing as is because I think it's really cool. The O, and now the Y. This one's fun. And I'm intrigued by the November kit because it looks like those tiny little mini paper pumpkin boxes. I think they did that once before. There we go. Super cute. Love it. Okay. So next, I'm going to try to go as the directions show. I'll see if I get it right. All right. So these are going to go down first, it looks like. This one's got 2. It's going to go there. This one's got the 3. Probably doesn't make any sense, but okay. It's going to go there. That one's going to go there. But before I put the adhesive, let me just double check. Oh, good thing I didn't put the adhesive down. I would have been in trouble. Okay, so now I know where it's going to go. Risky, but I'm going to hold it in place this way. Okay. All right. Yay. And so this one, just going to put a little bit of adhesive all throughout. Then attach it. Very nice. Now we're going to add our beautiful embellishments that came with the kit. Three of those. And card number 1 is complete. Next, card number 2, and it's this Christmas tree. Super fun to make. And this is that really pretty, like cherry cobbler. And so it's going to go this direction, and we're going to build the Christmas tree, and then we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas. But I'm going to do that one in cherry cobbler because even though it's pecan pie and it looks fine, I want it to be real pretty and red. I'm looking in the envelope because I thought I put the star in the envelope. I guess I didn't. Good thing it's over here to the side. Okay. So for this one, we're going to start with the biggest piece, and it's going to go toward the bottom. Again, before I put my adhesive, I kind of want to see where this is going to sit. Just like this. Because I want to have room for that star at the tippy top. So this is about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. All right, now we're going to build it, the second piece. I'm doing it one little section at a time. And then this one. And these pieces have that velvet. It's so nice. Really, really like it. And my camera's tilting again. My goodness. Okay. And then, of course, our beautiful star. It's going to go right at the top. Hey, Beverly, I did order an extra paper pumpkin. You are in luck. I don't always do that, but I did. So I will set one aside for you, Beverly. So glad you could join us tonight. All right, so now I'm going to adhere this one to the top. And then we're going to stamp our Merry Christmas and decorate this one. Love the stamps colors on this one. It's so pretty. All right, here is Cherry Cobbler. Nice big stamp. I think some of these I might need to get my re-inker out. And this one you just line it right up. Just like that. Perfect. So pretty. And I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals. I went a little bit further up. Maybe that'll keep it from tilting. I just don't understand why it tilts so much. Oh well. Let's see. We want to make sure wherever we sit this or situate it, we want to make sure it's going to fit within the envelope when we mail it. Pretty. So now for our bling. I love this bling. I'm going to put a bling right there. And put a bling right down over here. And another bling right there. I guess you could technically put one there, but we'll do the card as is. Another really beautiful card. And then the third card, but certainly not the last, because I have two alternatives that I'm excited to share with you. Fun folds. And two more 3D items with this kit. This one has just so many things that I just love. This is really cute. It's an ornament. Whether you want them to go down or you want them to go up, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, you're welcome, of course. All right, so this one's just going to layer right on top. I'm almost out. I'm going to have to refill it up again. Okay. This one is just a little daintier, if you will. It's got this cute little piece right here. We're going to deck the halls with this one. And then layer it. Isn't that fancy? Now there's velvet here. And there's velvet right there. Such a nice texture and feel. It really sets this card off really nicely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give it some adhesive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these flat adhesive dots again, which I think this big one came with the kit because it's the perfect size. So the paper pumpkin kits and the kits from the kits collection all have the adhesive in the kits, which is really, really helpful. And it's great for on the go. You never know. Some friends of mine took a paper pumpkin kit with them to their car dealership when their car was being maintained or whatever, and just started putting the kit together and had somebody inquire, what are you doing? That looks like fun. And then boom, they got a new customer. Somebody was interested in stamping from that fun idea from doing that. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be off-centered, but I might want to put mine right directly in the middle. I must have that type of personality. I just want to have it centered. I don't know. All right. Just like that. And then this piece. Oh wait, it's supposed to be underneath. Did I goof? Ooh, I might have goofed. Okay. Take your pick tool when you goof like I just did. And there you go. All right, so Deck the Halls. I like that one. And again, we're going to use our pecan pie. All right, so our next workshop is going to be on the 15th. Oh, that's next Saturday. How exciting. I have so many ideas to share. We might even do a 3D item. You never know. Hopefully you guys can come. Whether you're local or you might travel up here, we would love to stamp with you. Deck those halls. Super cute. All right, and then again, we're going to add dimensionals. The font on this stamp set is really amazing. We've got these nice little, almost like intentional little dot for each end. It's just so cute. Love this one. Okay. Such a cute card. Deck the Halls. All right. And then if you have friends that want to join, the more the merrier. All right. We're going to put one there, one there, and another one down here. And that's the 3 cards from the kit. Absolutely gorgeous. Love those. Now we're going to move on to the 2 alternatives. And what I like to do is I get this out and I read all the coordinating colors: basic beige, cherry cobbler, garden green, pecan pie, and even real red. So with that in mind, here are my 2 alternatives. I'm really excited about these. This one, it's you can call it a Z fold. It's one of those fun folds. I realized I didn't use those pieces. But my 3D item, I can use it on. Okay. And then this one. Joy to the World, using that new beautiful snowflake embossed. There's that fantastic tree again, and there's our Merry Christmas. Love this fun fold. Now, of course, you guys know when you have a template, it makes making fun folds so much easier. So there's those measurements if you want to screenshot it. And in our group later, you know, I'll upload all of the still shots. There's the card base, 7 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 3 for this one. Let's go ahead and do this one, and then we'll do the second fun fold. And we have 2 more 3D projects, so about 15 or 20 more minutes, just FYI. All right. There we go. I usually have a long video when it comes to the paper pumpkin alternatives, but you never know. So here's the paper, that snowflake paper. And so this one is 3 by 4. And then this piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, scored at 1 inch on one side. And our 3 by 4 is going to go right on top of there. And then the inside piece, just plain white, is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. And this piece of cardstock cherry cobbler is our card base, 7 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 3 inches. And this piece here is going to be this inside piece that is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and put those pieces on. Always hold down one side, lift up the flap, and then add my adhesive for the rest of it. And then for this piece, we are just going to get this up on the grids here, the grid line here, and let's see. It's about there. It's folded. Just like that at that crease mark. And we're going to stamp Merry Christmas in cherry cobbler and then put this one in. So it's important that this piece goes first, and then this one's going to cover up. Okay. I was quiet there for a minute, but I was trying to think, make sure I didn't do the wrong step, because I've done that before too. All right, cherry cobbler. Beautiful cherry cobbler. Another very, very nice Christmas color. And just nice, even pressure. Voila. And next, I'm gonna hold down one side, lift up the flap, and add our adhesives. And on the inside, I want to put some bling. I'm going to put this beautiful bling here, and this one right next to it. Beautiful. Love it. And then this little piece here that's 3 by 4. I'm going to add that one in. You see how I lined it up? Add the adhesive. And then to the world. This is the tricky part, and I probably should have done this first, so let's just flatten it out. The to the world, this is embossed paper, so I'm going to try to stamp and show you that you can stamp in between on that flat surface to the world. Okay. It's really easy, trust me. Let's line it up first, though. Yep, perfect. Okay. To the world in pecan pie. Embossing, sure. I haven't done the heat embossing in a while, and I need to, because Christmas cards are beautiful when they're heat embossed. Yes. It's been a hot minute since I've done that. to the world. Let's see if I can get this lined up. Did I do it? Almost didn't, just at the tip. But see, you can see how you can stamp in between. So yay. And then this is that velvet, beautiful velvet, which is the addition that you can add to it. And these are the dies. Just beautiful. Okay. I think we're going to do the little bitty flat adhesive dots on this one. On that corner and that corner. And the nice thing about the kits and the paper pumpkins, they give you more adhesive than you'll need, and so you'll have some left over for future projects. I love that. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So joy to the world. And this one, we're going to add the beautiful red for the corners. Not that size, the smaller size. So I am gonna need, since I'm gonna do 3 of these, I'm gonna have to get out my other package because I need that small size. But that's okay. And this is a really hot seller this year. Beautiful. Traditional sparkling sequins. And then get that tiny little one again. Yep. Nope, that's still too big. It's this tiny one down here. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. Love those. That bling is my favorite. All right, so last but not least, we're going to build our tree. You know how we built it before? And it's going to be overlapping a little bit, and that's fine. Basically going to be right there. And again, you want to kind of put this puzzle together, so to speak, to make, before you put the adhesive, to make sure you have room for the star. All right. So I'm pretty sure that's where we need it. Just add that adhesive on there. And then the next piece. I think the humidity kind of messes with the ink sometimes, or not ink, but the glue. All right. Nice. And then our beautiful star. Just like that. And then bring in that beautiful bling. Got one there. here. And a third one right there. Alternative card number 1, Joy to the World. Merry Christmas. All right. And then alternative card number 2. And it's another fun fold. It keeps tilting. Sorry about that. Okay, fun fold. Everybody's been kind and nobody said anything mean about how that I get so involved in my project, and when I look up I realize, oh man, it's tilted, but everybody's so kind and never says anything bad about it. One of these days it's going to be A-okay. All right, so this one, oh good, I did put the little sticky note. So this piece is some extra cardstock piece that I brought in. This is part of the kit. And this is measured 4 7/8 by 3 3/4. And we're gonna notch the ends using the small circle punch, which I believe is retired, but I'm sure you have some kind of a circle punch that would work just to notch it out. And then here's our card base, 11 inch by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and 2 3/4. Basically folds back like that. And that's your simple basic Z-fold. Now you can see we're going to be stamping using this fun stamp here. This is basic beige cardstock. There's all that fun bling we'll put up there. We're going to do our stamping on here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and do the little notches. I've got the old whale retired 1-inch circle punch. I say just use whatever's in your stash. About 1/8 of an inch. So see how it's going to give it that notch that came with the kit like that? Same idea. Hopefully you can see that. All right, I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Just a tiny little bit on each corner. That little notch, just like that. And I basically measured this piece that came with the kit, and there were 3 of these. And we're going to just fill it up with all of those beautiful pecan pie snowflakes. And on this one, there's no right or wrong as far as where you want to place your little snowflakes. And tap, tap, tap is a real easy math. Just all throughout each side here. And then this one, the one that we notched out, is going to be the inside. We're going to do that twice, just like that. And while we have this out, again, joy and then to the world, we'll go ahead and stamp to the world at the very bottom there. And then we'll put our ink pad up. And then this is a really important step. We want to do this first piece first on the top and only adhere it to halfway. Okay. So I'm gonna, this looks like the sweet spot where it's centered. So I'm gonna hold down one side, lift up this flap, and apply my adhesive only up to that score line. Right? And then this piece, we want it to match up. That's why we did the top piece first. Because then the inside, we want it completely covered. So it's underneath. I'm going to hold it just like that. Again, hold one side, lift up the flap, and apply my adhesive. That way when you close it, voila. This is the piece that came with the kit, and this is the basic beige we brought in. All right, same thing for this one. We're gonna hold off on these two pieces because I think I can do some more 3D stuff with those. But we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is where if I knew how to fast forward my video real quick, I would do it. So this might be a good time if you need to take a little break, or if you're watching it later on the replay, you could probably fast forward this part. Putting the adhesive on here. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. I'm bound and determined to use a lot of these. I think the little bitty ones are going to be good for the other side. Just like that. Okay. And we're going to take that adhesive off using the Take Your Pick tool. This one's really, really cute. Now, because I did do an alternative, I think I have this section piece like that left over. You can always use any of your standalone alphabet dies to do the Joy to the World, or if you wanted to freehand the J-O-Y, you could certainly do that. If you're like me and you want to use up every piece of your kit. Let's see. There's the O. And now for the Y. Oh yeah, the corners. Yeah, I had to think about that. I had done that once before. And I thought, what do I have that will work? Oh yeah, the circle punch. Because when it comes to Paper Pumpkin, I love to think way outside the box. Literally. Okay. And we're going to add some adhesive. Hopefully I don't run out. It's getting pretty close on there. And this is my card number 2 alternative, original Athena idea. Because I love that when that happens. This one has some really fun bling on each corner like that. Oops. Come here. There we go. It just enhances each side. Isn't that pretty? This one had a lot, but that's okay. Super fun. All right, so we've got 2 more projects, 3Ds. Hope you're ready for them. Ta-da! Oh, here we go again. Tilted camera, my goodness. Okay. All right. I think we're going to do the little box, and then we're going to do this one. Yes. Got a lot going on here tonight. Okay. And as always, here is the template for this box. And then these are the original pieces. Ta-da. I've got it all pre-cut, or not cut, but pre-scored. And so this treat box is what I'm calling it. You can use it for all different things. You can use it for Halloween. You can use it for Christmas, Valentine's. I mean, sky's the limit, basically. Any occasion, basically. This is, cardstock is 7 by 6. On the 7-inch side, you're going to score at 3/4, 1 3/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/4. Then you're going to turn on the 6-inch side, and you're going to score it at 1, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, and 5. Now what we're going to do is we're going to burnish all the score lines. When you come to my workshops, I have all of this ready for you. All right. So it's time to get the scissors, the handy dandy scissors. And it's hard to believe that that's what it's going to look like, but it really is. Okay. Before I go too far, I just need to double check. Okay. So, according to my template, which is why it's so important to have a template, I'm going to cut all the way up to the second score line. And trim that piece completely off, just like that. Same thing, all the way up to the score line. And we're going to get rid of those 2 pieces. This one, we're going to round it. This is going to be the lid. There we go. And then my template, so I don't get confused, I'm going to turn it. And on this one, I'm going to cut up to the score line. And get rid of that notch. Same thing here. Get rid of that little square, not notch, but little square piece. Get rid of that. And put a tiny little notch there and a tiny little notch there. And again, up to the score line. Add a little notch there. Cut up to the score line. Add a little notch there. Okay. So when I put it right on top, it's pretty close to right on exactly the cut. Then I'm going to turn the other side. Same thing. I'm going to cut up to the score line. Get rid of this square. Cut up to the score line. Get rid of that square. Meanwhile, I'm going to put a tiny notch and another tiny notch there. Cut up to the score line. Notch it. Cut up to the score line. Notch it again. Let's see, do I have anything else that needs to be notched? Just right here, tiny little bit there. Okay. Whew. All right. Now, again, I'm going to use my little circle punch to give it a tiny little indentation in the middle there. Same thing for this side, in the middle, little notch. There we go. All right. So now we know we're going to have to put glue on those 4 sides. And since I'm getting low on that one, and it's a little bit easier if I use tear and tape for those little sides there, then I can just do one at a time. Heron tape is magical. Let's just kind of fold it a little bit. It's going to go in like that. And then this is just going to fold down. Yeah. So this one you want to make sure it's folded backwards and forward on that side tab. All right. We're going to do one at a time. All right. I'm going to bring this one up just like that. Then we're going to do the next one. And notch it. Then this side. Just like that, notch it. Or pinch it, I should say. And then the last little piece. And that's how it's made. Super easy, right? The template is a lifesaver for sure. All right, so this one I want to trim it just a little bit more. Round it just a tiny little bit. And you'll do that. You'll modify your box just like that if need be. And of course, the reason for that is you can see I went like a hair over, so I had to modify it. I might have to modify it even more, my word. Okay, so I'm going to modify the notch on this one. So see, it's not perfect, and that's okay. This is where those little things, mishaps, I guess I'm going to call them, where there's a notch, that's going to help. On camera, and I don't, you know, rewind it and erase it. That way, if you have that happen, you'll know what the fix is. Just like that. All right. We got our fun stuff on the inside, our candies and whatnot. And so now we're going to go ahead and stamp Merry Christmas, which is really fabulous. Using Cherry Cobbler. Just like that. And I love the photopolymer because you can see exactly where you are stamping. All right, this one's going to be on dimensionals, which I need to put directly to my box. And now we're going to modify this piece. I'm going to trim it. Trim it. And for this one, I'm going to add adhesive just underneath. That way I can set it exactly where I want it to go. Just like that. Perfect, right? And I'm going to use these beautiful embellishments that come with the kit. I'm bound and determined to use them up. Voila. Isn't that fun? I'll share all of the dimensions in our group page a little bit later. And now for the really cool box and template. I just had a couple pieces fall. Hold on. All right. So I'm bringing in the die cut piece from Traditional Label Dies. Oops. I'm making a big old mess. All right. We're going to do the same thing with this one, and we're going to stamp that Merry Christmas, because when we open this fun little pizza box, Christmas Joy. So Christmas is from the Traditional Labels, and then Joy is from the kit. Similar idea for the box. Let's go ahead and stamp this one. Oh, you know what? It's not this one. It's actually this Christmas Joy. I almost messed up. This is our last 3D of the night. Let me look and see what's inside this box again. Christmas Joy. So I think we'll do the Christmas first. Christmas. Right at the top. Enjoy. I just love that stamp set. Christmas Joy. Isn't that pretty? That's going to go on the inside of our box. And this one's going to have some beautiful added bling. Whoop, there we go. And a couple more right over here. I love the bling. All right, so next, I'm going to put these together. All right. And I am going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus just to give a little bit of adhesive. To put this one together. So we have these pieces ready to go. And of course, I just had to have a beautiful gold bling on the middle. And again, this is velvet, right? Okay. So now we're going to set this aside, and I'm going to share with you the measurements to this box, fun gift box. And you can see this is the template. This one, the measurements are a little different than before, but it's totally easy to do. 10 7/8 by 6. And on the 10 7/8 inch side, you're going to score it at 1 1/8, 4 7/8, 6, and 9 3/4. Then you're going to turn on the 6-inch side, score it at 1 1/8, and score again at 4 7/8. Okay? So I've done that already. I'm going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines. kind of like what we did before. Isn't that fun? I just love stuff like this. All right, so we're going to turn it. We're going to cut up to the score line and notch it. Cut up to the score line. And on the flat piece, notch it. Up to the score line, cut it. And then notch it. I think that's what they call it. And same thing here. Cut up to the score line. And notch it. Then we're going to turn it. Do the same thing. Cut up to the score line, notch it, cut up to the score line, and then on the flat piece, notch it, cut up to the score line, notch it, cut up to the score line, notch it on the flat. All right. Now, one side, they're basically the same measurements on each side. And then one side is going to have the punch. This time, I'm going to use a bigger punch, which I thought was on my desk. Oh, it fell over. Hold on. That's what that noise was earlier. All right, we're almost done. So the 1.5 inch punch. In the middle. Punch it just like that. Super easy. And of course we know, I forgot to notch this corner. On those corners, we're going to put our tear and tape. Just like that. All right. Oh, I didn't do that on this box, and I should have, huh? There we go. I thought I did. So we're basically going to put it together just like that. Which I'm thinking I messed up. I shouldn't have put those there. But that's okay. This will be the bottom. We'll see how this works. So the bottom of your box, you're going to put the notches this direction. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully we can put the notch, or not the notch. I got that word in my brain. The little circle, the punch out on both sides is probably fine. We're going to do one side at a time. This is probably the longest live I've done in a while, and y'all are probably getting tired. Okay, so see how this is coming together? So even though I sort of messed up, I guess I didn't really, I don't know. Because, you know, you can make this box your own, how you want it. All right, this is the bottom part. And it's basically going to fold in. Just like that. But I'm thinking I need another notch. When it's a little tight like that, just give it another little notch. And I think what I want to do is do a, whoops, sorry, do this right here as well. So even though on the original one I didn't, you can still do that. And everything's going to fold in just like that. This one's really tight, but it fits. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put our Christmas Joy on the inside. Then we're going to close our box and put our beautiful decoration on the top. It's on dimensionals. And then this one, I know I want to put the dimensionals directly on the box. Just like that. And now for the final piece for this one is that beautiful ribbon that I was going to check and I forgot to see if it was still available. It was one of those in a 2-pack. It was an online exclusive for quite a while, so it may or may not be available. But whatever beautiful ribbon you've got in your collection, we're going to make 2 bunny rabbit ears and make us a pretty bow. Tuck it under. Voila. And then we're just gonna kind of feed it back and forth, tighten it. And this is, it's kind of a wiry feel to this ribbon. There's a silver and gold, and I just chose gold for this one. And then I'm gonna get out my little glue dot. And it's gonna go at the tippy top, just like so. And I'm gonna get my ribbon scissors and clip it, just like that. Super easy. I will share all these measurements again in our group like I always do. I don't know if I can clean up some of this mess. Make room to show all the pretties that were made. Lots of fun little extra pieces here and there. All right, so our 3D box, our next 3D box, and our other standing beautiful box that we made. And then all of these fun little pieces. I think I had mentioned a month or so ago that I was going to share these with everybody, that I had been working on them. And so that's kind of what this one is. So easy, so fun. And of course you can make it as a table favor or an ornament if you wanted, depending on whatever project you were working on or whatever you wanted the project for. And then, of course, the cards. That's all the 3D. And then, of course, all the cards. So the 2 card alternatives that are fun folds. I don't know if I can get all these in the picture. And then the 3 original cards from that the kit was intended for. That's a lot. But anyway, I will share all the still shots. Thank you all so much for joining me. I have no idea what's going to be next week, the 13th of November, but we will have something. Something fun. Probably some more 3D. I mean, probably the hot cocoa packets. Always some fun things, just using new products from this year. And I love doing the paper pumpkin kits and all of the alternatives. This one is always so much fun, the October one. I love to just think outside the box. In our group, if you do the search button and you do October paper pumpkin, it'll probably bring up the still shots from last year where I did a variation, a lot different than this one actually. These are new to me this year. So super excited to share all of that with y'all. Some great fun folds. And I do have a couple of extra kits, so if anybody's interested, just reach out and I'll be happy to set those aside for you. Happy stamping. Thank you so much for joining me.